I'm concerned, human beings, more than being stupid in this era, are greedy. It's the era of the greed. Now what happens, why they become so stupid in their actions, is because their mind power is subsided or exceeded by the greed towards possessions. That means that people believe that more material comfort that you can gain, you can lead better lives. But even Bill Gates is giving more of his money today to find inner happiness. And if you go to, I've been conducting discussions with Swedish designers, Danish designers in Europe, and young people, having dialogues all over different parts of the world. They are looking for something very simple, just like we are looking for. They are looking for how to be happy, happiness. They have achieved well-being. In Sweden, is rated as the #1 country in the in a well-being index. Now, with all the guarantees of well-being, all the comforts that they require, why are they still searching for happiness? That is because the system controls them. Now, the system very well says, if you act as we say, you will get all these comforts. If you go beyond the system, against the system, we will withdraw it from you. And human beings are not very rational always.
And they're conditioned by the system.
They are conditioned by the system, they are caged by the system, they are framed by the system.
And they're trapped by poverty as a result as well.
Poverty, as Muhammad Yunus very well has said, is not a problem of the capacity or the aspiration of the people. It is a system, it is created by a hypocritic system, as I have written in my book, which maintains poverty for the benefit of overconsumption by a small group of people, entities, enterprises and groups on earth. So the mindfulness needs to come from all over. It means that if China and India are growing at the rate that they are growing, and the consumer class is growing at a rate, if they start consuming the way Americans or the Europeans, Western Europeans consumed in the past, world is not going to stand a chance. But a single Indian, I always say this and I have written in this book, I simply cannot understand why any Indian should go hungry, and majority of Indians are under poverty. This is a country which has a surplus of grain. It is a matter of distribution, non-distribution. There is grain, but Vandana Shiva, the ecologist, says the more that farm families produced grain in their farmlands, the farm families had been going hungry, because the grain was traded in the developed country markets while the farm families had to starve.
So that's a very important discussion we had, Mr. De Zoysa, and we can't do justice to the discussion because I think it just came to a crucial point where we have to go on. But the key word, what you said in one word, is mindfulness, and the importance to understand that we are also trapped and encapsulated and sort of enchanted in a system where, as Professor Yunus said, that poverty is actually not a creation of poor people, but it's also a structural and conceptual thing that helps the world to stay as it is, so that the rich will be rich and the poor will remain poorer, so that the world can go on the way it is. But simply because of that, it adds to the climate problem, it adds to the sustainability issue, and sustainability becomes an illusion. So according to you, everybody has to be mindful of the threat that that is there, and if one can be mindful, I guess everybody can take the little actions that they can take to understand how they can go to a sustainable destination. So it boils down to the fact that at least opening a tap, open it, and only the water you want, then you close it, switch off the unnecessary light. So basically a very intellectual and
consume correctly and consciously.
Consume correctly and consciously. So intellectual discussion, we will boil it down to just one word, mindful, and as you said, consume correctly and consciously. So thank you, Mr. De Zoysa. Thank you very much.
And I wish you and all others mindfulness.
Thank you very much. And thanks for watching us tonight. Be mindful. Have a good night.